Hey, my friends, how y'all doing? John back here with another reaction. Today I'm going to do something I want. Sorry I haven't been around. Getting over COVID took 5 years to get it. Ugh, man, that was horrible. The worst parts being um, just being fatigued and nothing actually tasted good. I think I lost 10 pounds, which I could stand to lose because it was from my big fat gut. Anyway, I watched a documentary sort of thing on Fandango or Voodoo, whatever you want to call it, and about Kenny Rogers. And I always loved Kenny Rogers, and this is like my favorite song, so I just want to do it. Let's jump in. Voice gives you goosebumps, man.
On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness till boredom overtook us, and he began to speak. He said, "Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces and knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind my saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me.
I gotta stop for a minute. You know, I've always loved Kenny Rogers, but I think watching this documentary, you should watch it too. Just look on Fandango for Kenny Rogers, and you'll find it on there. I think I only paid like $5 for it. It's an incredible documentary. It's got some live performance stuff from different artists. It was kind of done for him because it was, he knew he was going to stop performing. It was done in 2017. Sadly, Kenny died in 2020. But, so much is not known about, Kenny Rogers. A lot of people don't know anything about his history. I mean, back in the day, he actually had like a doo-wop hit, and they gained, nationwide, recognition. And then he moved on to doing some other stuff. You guys probably heard of the first edition, um, to see what condition my condition was in. Great stuff. Uh, and it's also good, but he's always had this rock and roll bone or, that kind of stuff like that. And so when you listen to him, you're probably not aware of what a talented musician he is. He's a great guitar player, and he also can play a really mean bass. He used to play bass in several, like the first edition and other things he's done. But what a great musician and a great man. And the little things I notice here now, just like the hi hats, that'll come in here in a second. It's just so good. It, watching that is put me back, to Kenny Rogers, and I've always loved Kenny Rogers anyway. So it's like a rediscovering this legend. I love this man so much, and who his best friend is Lionel Richie. A lot of you guys probably didn't know that, but that's always been his best friend. They did "We Are the World." They helped write that.
So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done." Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep. 'Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. And when he'd finished speaking, he turned back toward the window, crushed out his cigarette, faded off to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness The gambler, he broke even,
Wow.
but in his final words I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting.
I gotta stop once more. You know, I hadn't heard this song in many years, and I must have listened to it 50 times today. It's just like his voice is just like so smooth. I always love how he had that kind of that distortion in his voice that he can really control. He's again just an incredible performer, absolute legend. He gave it his all. 70 years or so he was performing. You know what I mean? For pretty much all of his life, since he was just a young kid. You know, when he had the doo wop group and stuff. Um, but what a song, guys! And you know what's true about anything. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You know, you got to just know when to walk away. Yeah, wow. I hope you enjoy this as much as I do listening to it. Maybe you haven't heard Kenny Rogers for a while, so awesome. Let's finish up.
When the dealing's done, you got to know when to hold 'em, when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting. When the dealing's done, you got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done.
What a classic. Handsome guy, man. He's always been handsome. In this, in this, in this video that I watched on Voodoo, his brother was his security guy, and his brother's it looks a lot like him. And he would say that how the girls used to try to grope Kenny. He said, but most times they would grope him. They didn't know the difference. He said he was always getting groped. He was just trying to protect his brother. But what a song, guys. I mean, that song is just, it'll always, always stand the test of time. And I just wanted to do something I wanted to do. You know, I'm going to start trying to do that once in a while anyway. But anyway, it's nice to be able to actually eat something and hopefully be on the downside of COVID. That was brutal. So, anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well, guys. If you want some more Kenny Rogers, let me know, or First Edition, or any of the other stuff he's done. All right, guys, much love. Take care.